Welcome back to Gemstone Podcast. My name is Lance Parker. I go by LP. I have Zach with me today. Now, I don't have Shy with us. She may join us later on today, or she may be in another segment. But before we get started, make sure you guys go follow our podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Podcast Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Pandora Podcasts as well. We have expanded the platform. Additionally, make sure you go follow us on Instagram at Gemstone Podcast, Instagram account. All right, Z, go ahead and get into it. Now, you was telling me a little something about something going on down there in Houston about the turkey leg hut scandal. Go ahead, take it away, because I want to learn more about this, bro.
Man, yeah, it's been going crazy in Houston lately, man. We're gonna talk about the fall of the turkey leg hut, man. If you don't know, the turkey leg hut is owned by two people. It's Lynn Price and his wife. They were co-owners of it with a couple other parties they had in their department too at that time. The turkey leg hut is what it is. It's a company that started out as a food truck that went on to becoming a brick and mortar, and then having hundreds of or about 10 extra food trucks running around all of the city. They even had a little spot going out to Dallas. Everybody in the country was coming to Houston just to try these humongous turkey legs that had stuff with all types of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, Turkey Leg Hut food was very good, but the most reason people came down there was for the vibe of the party that you had there. Like the DJ, the hooker, the drinks, everything was just a vibe when you got the Turkey Leg Hut, man. It was so much fun when you get in there. Now, the one bad part about that place is that the line you had to wait in to get in sometimes was 2, 3 hours long. But people would stand in that line. That's how big Turkey Leg Hut had got to a point. It was a viral Instagram real place to go. Everybody wanted to go there. Everybody wanted to see what the talk was about for this place. Now I'm building this up to let y'all see how big Turkey Leg Hut was, because this fall has to have his own 30 for 30 almost, dog. Like, my man Lynn is in federal indictment for some things going on that's been happening in Houston for the past couple of years, and it's finally starting to catch up to him. And it's pretty crazy right now. It's almost a Netflix series, but we're gonna go ahead and break it in and get real deep into what happened with it right now. So in April 2025, the federal agents arrested Lynn Price for not tax evasion, not health code violations, but for orchestrating an arson of his rival's bar, Bar 5015, which was owned by his ex-partner, like I told y'all. It has multiple people in the apartment, Steve Rogers. According to the prosecution, Price allegedly paid $1,400 to two men to set fire to a bar in June 2020. The blaze that they set at this bar ended up costing over $750,000 in damages, and it actually blew up Bar 5015. Like, they put so much gasoline all over the bar that it blew up that place, and it blew up it kind of caught the surrounding areas on fire that was in that place, which is insane to think that you would hire some idiots that would do something like that, dog. But it doesn't stop there. Federal investigators say that this wasn't a one-off. Price is also linked to theft and burning a 1975 Chevy Nova that belonged to a police officer. Crazy. Oh, during the raid of his house, they reportedly found illegal firearms that included a flamethrower and tons of guns. The prosecutor alleged that not also did Price do all these other things, but the man also was moving weed out of the turkey leg hut. He was using it as a trap house wrapped in Creole seasoning. The federal witness claimed that the restaurant stored marijuana shipments from California, and that the trailers behind the business were used as stash spots. If this is true, this can also take the cases that Price have against him into like a federal RICO, acting like he's a cartel member at a gang, which is insane that you went from a CEO owner to now there's no claim that he can have a RICO case or nothing like that, or say they was in the gang, because he is in the biker gang, but you never know what they can call right now on this. So we have a man who literally helped out Houston's food culture helped put food culture on the map. Like, people were flocking all over the country just to come try this food. Now it's facing up to 20 years in federal prison, bankruptcy, a divorce, in a community that divided over everything that's been happening, because he even, this is allegedly speaking here, he might have set the office building for Turkey Leg Hut on fire to hide some documents, allegedly. Now, we're gonna find out if that's true when these court cases come up soon. But my man, You've been crashing out, my boy.
I would say he probably did set up on fire to hide some documents. I mean, that'd be the most logical thing to do. Um, if he was indicted and after doing some research, it said some others were also indicted as well. It was two other individuals who were indicted with him early April, saying they have a co-conspiracy to commit arson and et cetera, to set the building on fire. And they said something about a bar 5015 in Houston in the Museum Art District
Yeah,
that he was.
that's the rival bar that's literally down the street from Turkey Leg Hut that he set on fire and, and burnt up.
So Buddy set up, well, allegedly he had some people set the bar on fire because he was feuding with somebody, which I mean that's typical when people beef. But
Hey,
it sounded like,
that was the bar we went to for my birthday.
oh, that nice one that we went. That place was nice that we went out there.
That's the one he burnt up.
Oh yeah, Buddy out of pocket, but it looked like Buddy been doing some crime for a while, doing some research on him. Buddy been in part of some. It's like little bitty petty crimes, but it's been a small build up. So I guess this was his big one, and it looks like he had a relationship with the mayor, from what it says. He has a strong relationship with the mayor of Houston County.
Yeah,
So
he had a relationship with Sylvester Turner, RIP Sylvester Turner. He's passed away now, but he had a relationship with him, and they some speculations allegedly. That's why Lynn didn't get in trouble for a lot of things, is because he had a strong relationship with the previous mayor.
Okay, see that makes sense. Like I said, I'm just doing some research. It didn't name drop who the mayor was, but it said Price's relationships with local governments, such as the mayor of Houston County, has leveraged him and gave him the capability to conduct these crimes in the shadows of Houston County. Like, I mean, that's just some way somebody reported there. That doesn't mean that that's actually fact or something that's concrete. I mean, these are allegations, obviously, because this is something that has to go through the court system. But Buddy paid 14. All it costs is 1,400 to burn down the building. That's it.
That's all it costs, 1,400 for
That's nothing. That's a cheat. And my wife got caught. He ain't paying no. It was only $1,400.
Come on.
he ain't putting no real money to it. Ah, man, the Turkey Leg Hut, he's the owner of it. And I mean, when you think about the Turkey Leg Hut, you think about Houston. Like what you said is right. Like that was something that brought culture to the H, aka Houston, as we call it, the H, because even when I used to come down to Houston, first thing I wanted to go to, I'd be like, hey, man, let's go to Turkey Leg Hut and let's go to Lotus. That's what I always tell you. As soon as I get there, let's go to the Hut. Let's go to Lotus. I want some crawfish or some seafood. I want turkey leg stuff with mac and cheese or dressing or something like that. And so, and the drinks be fire. So I mean, that's what I always used to come down. And every time I came to Houston, I ain't gonna even sit here and lie. Every time I came to Houston, I gotta see my boy. Gotta see my boy Z. Gotta see my boy Jay. And I say, hey man, let's go to Lotus. Let's go to Turkey Leg Hut. That's two spots we go to.
We can sit out, smoke our cigars, vibe.
No, for real, man.
Chill, like it's a vibe.
I'm gonna miss that element because that was really something for the culture. And the line be long. Like he ain't lying about the wait. Anybody who listening who's not from the state of Texas, if you go to, well, it ain't here no more. But if you ever had the chance, it'd be a line. And Lotus too. We had to go to the Lotus off the 45 because the other one would be stay too packed. So we had to go to them on 45 because it wasn't that packed because they stay packed. So he ain't lying about them lines, man. And then yeah, the food was fire too. I ain't gonna lie. Turkey Leg Hut was fire. I mean, you gonna come back a little thicker. You come every time I came to the H, had to go on a quick little fast.
Definitely had to
because I'm gonna eat good
later that night.
That's pretty sad though, man. That took place. I didn't know that happened, man. I was sitting here listening to you, and I'm over here shocked. You was telling me about it beforehand, and I'm like, man, really? The Turkey Leg Hut gone? No, like it's like a piece of Houston has been taken away from the from the citizens, man, because that's like literally something that's embedded within the culture. I keep saying it because it's truly embedded. Like when I think about going to Houston, I always think about Turkey Leg Hut, Lotus. That's the two things I think about. Off the top of my head. And it used to be that one bar that we went to. It was a brunch spot where they played the R&B all the time. That was pretty clutch too. I don't know the name of that one. I can't, but every time I tell y'all know. Yeah, I forgot that spot clutch too.
That was a pop-up thing I think they did up there.
Oh, but that's a clutch spot. They had it every Sunday.
For real. We was in there doing karaoke in there.
Boy, hey, when Tiffany Campbell dropped, but I'm praying that however this turns out, man, that it doesn't really like since he had some relationship with it seems to appear to be allegedly with the local government, that this doesn't get nastier than what it needs to be. And I just hope that things don't go in a direction where skeletons are revealed in closets and some people who've done great work in the city of Houston, their name isn't drugged through the mud through this process. Because I mean, it could have been that some of these individuals looked at Lynn as like a son, as like there's someone who they want to mentor, try to guide him down the right path, but he just couldn't get it right. And I mean, I've had it at times too for myself in my younger years. I made a lot of mistakes. And I've had some individuals who was in some high positions that swept some things under the rug for me. And fortunately, I'm this esteemed professional I am today. But without them, that doesn't happen. So maybe this was the same concept for Mr. Lynn, man, Mr. Price. And I just hope, man, that things just work out the way they're supposed to be. And, obviously justice is served, but if he was trying to burn down a building, it's probably for sure it was some stuff in there he didn't want nobody to get hold of. I mean, fire incinerates stuff. You can't get no document and then go back through it. What fire? You can't even piece it together, really, because it's gone. So, yeah, man, that's crazy.
I think it's gonna be we would like to see it not have skeletons come out, but I think it's gonna be skeletons come out because he's already in a nasty divorce. And I think that's the main reason why that allegedly that building caught on fire the second time, because the documents in there, for both of them, that could or could not have information allegedly. Once again, allegedly, but they were talking about it on one of the Instagram posts for Houston, talking about the reason why they feel like Lynn is getting so much heat now is because that person that was looking out for him in the local government is no longer here or no longer alive, rest his soul. But now those sharks that was probably swimming around are finally able to actually come get him, because this happened in the first one, the arson at Bar 5015, that happened in 2020, and you just now getting arrested and everything for it now. Like, people in Houston knew kind of who did that fire already. Like, it wasn't like no speculation to like, I did that shit. I can look at that, that might have did that shit. And if you ain't never seen what Lynn Price looked like, that looked like a Suge Knight. He a Houston Suge Knight.
Dang. So, and if he going through a divorce for monetary reasons, it's probably best if his wife. This is all allegedly too, folks. By the way, this is just all alleged conversation. If his wife was on any of the documents as far as starting, any of the accounts, anything like that, if you go through a divorce, it's a 50-50. You know how it go with business. He might not want it. I mean, shoot, he might not want do that. He might say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and set this thing on fire. She ain't getting this. We're gonna get this insurance check. And that could be what it was. And back to what you said, man, with the whole he getting so much heat now. This might be a wake-up call to him too, for him to kind of calm down and slow down. Because once you use your safety net, if we all had to lose it at one point in time in our life when we show out a little bit, you look at things a little bit different. I need to make better decisions. And so I think that may be something that he needs to think about, but I'm interested to see how this all play out. I'm very interested because you said skeleton's gonna come out in this sound. Because if he going through divorce, ain't nothing worse than a scorn woman.
Man, say it again. That's the last person you want to be the side of.
That's the and if she know where the body's at too, she gonna dig them all up.
Come on, you know where all the bodies at? Come on.
Dig them all if she know. allegedly, but I'm just a scorned woman.
That's a strong case.
Uh,
You never know. I mean, he already tried to bail out. They told him no.
he ain't got no bail.
Ain't got no bail.
Oh, he out of there.
Ain't got no bail. So it's
He out of there. They gave Yellow Beezy a bill, so if he get a bill, man, come on.
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Oh yeah, that mean they got some real evidence on him.
I mean, weed stuff just came out. Like we didn't know. I didn't even hear it. When they posted that stuff all over Instagram, talking about Turkey Leg Hut was selling weed out the bag, and they sent a picture of it being a real Turkey Leg Hut package. I said, bro, that's wild, fam.
He was branding it. Oh man, oh yeah, they got some real evidence of him. That's why he ain't got no bail. This might turn out pretty bad then.
Then you
Because
ship it across
when they
county
deny
lines,
you bail, that mean they got you.
and then you moving it across state lines. You move from Cali to Texas, 5 states right there.
That's all type of charges. That's all type of charges.
And then you leaving the word if allegedly, let me respond to this allegedly. If you allegedly leaving your work where you sleep, you already broke the number one rule. You don't work where you sleep, and you left it where you sleep. What are we doing?
Yeah, he ain't got no
And you
bail.
burned up the bar by your restaurant. You still doing stuff where you sleep at. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Nigga,
Yeah.
ready for crash out.
Now you say he look like Suge Knight. I ain't never seen the guy.
Look him up. Look him up right now. The community look him up right now. They look like Suge Knight. He the Houston Suge Knight.
He used to Suge Knight. Man, he ain't never lied.
Don't he look like him?
Boy. Linda Lynn Price. He showed, dude.
Suge Knight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hate to say it, man. Yeah. Damn.
But that's my segment for y'all today, man. I just wanted us to get into that because some things been going on in Houston. We've been having a ball.
Three federal charges.
Come on.
You got Rick Ross some pictures on here. Bun B.
He be at the Rick Ross car show every year in Atlanta. They be taking like 10 cars up there. They be having he owns a garage too.
He deep in some stuff. His hands in too many pots.
Like he a hustler for sure. But maybe I take that sit in that 4x8 cell. Get your mind right.
All right, well, we're gonna move to our next segment, man. We're gonna wish Mr. Mendoza out of there.
Hey, but best of luck to
That boy done
everybody
burned down the bar, man. I'm sorry. Y'all forgive me. Y'all forgive me. I ain't be allegedly, man. I did. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next segment, man. I'm gonna keep laughing. That makes sense.
Hey, best of luck to everybody involved. Hope y'all come out unscathed. And if you do come out scathed, hopefully you ain't scathed too hard. But some sit downs want to do right here. Somebody snitching. I can tell you that right now. Somebody ain't going to jail for this time.
Oh yeah.
Snitching.
Yeah, somebody tell them.
They already said they got a federal witness. Somebody snitching.
Oh yeah, it's about he ain't got no bail. It's too much. We got fan mail. So I'm gonna read this to you. It says, "Hi LP. I listened to one of the episodes where you guys discussed the nurse that was harming Black babies in Richmond, Virginia. You said during the segment that we all should focus on advocating or protesting surrounding a bill or policy rather than going for the money. I kind of side with Shy and Zach, them being the writer. They kind of side with Shy and Zach, is I would have took them to the cleaners for all the money I could have been rewarded. Can you give more detail as to why you said we should all go for a bill or whatever it is you were saying, and why is it important? Okay, well, I remember that segment. That segment was about the nurse who was harming Black children in the NICU. NICU babies already come with complications. This nurse had prior incidents where she had harmed some children, and obviously this particular family had made news because they were going through a settlement process. But this has been going on for a few years. And the nurse was never really taken off the floor. I think she was taken off the floor for a small period of time temporarily. And then some more allegations came back, but she was allowed to work back on the floor. Now, I can't remember what Cheyenne said exactly, but Cheyenne said take them. I think she said, like you said, take them to the cleaners. All the money that they got, clock it. And Zach said the same thing. They asked me my opinion. If that was one of my children, I gave my opinion, but I still kept it real professional. Now, I did say during that segment that we always want to ask for money, but we should be asking for some type of bill a policy to be implemented. Now, you said kind of explain on why that's important or what was I trying to say? Okay, so to give you insight, when I'm saying a bill or I'm saying a policy, a bill is something that goes through legislation. That means your local government or your government at your state level, you have your federal government and your state. A bill goes through both. It has to get they vote for it, they pass it. But when it comes to disparities or it comes to mistreatment in healthcare, you can always protest and advocate for a bill. What I was saying during that segment is that this family should have been trying to get a bill passed or even developed or some type of proposal surrounding the bill in regards to that child's name. Now, the child was living and doing fine, but still, they should have had a bill in that child's name. Because if a health system is allowing a particular medical professional who's obviously distributed contemporary that's detrimental or harmful to patients, then the patient's not their first concern. Obviously, their first concern is monetary value, which means they have a lot of it, which means writing you a check don't mean nothing to them. That's pennies in a dime, pennies in a quarter. It doesn't mean it's nothing to them. There's a lot of systems who can write checks for a couple million. Some could even do it for a few hundred million because they have so much in the bank and they have so many different private funders and private equity groups that have developed some type of partnership with them. So they have deep pockets. But when you say a bill or you say a policy, that's where you have real accountability, because now a policy and a bill can be considered law. That can be considered something if you do go to court. Now criminal charges can now be put in place because you violated a bill or a policy. Let me provide you with an example. I worked at a particular institution and they had a policy surrounding emails. You cannot send anything from your work email to your personal email. That was the actual policy that they had put in place at the organization. A particular individual that worked there, something happened. That particular individual started forwarding emails from their work email to their personal email. They resigned. They tried to go to court. That policy was brought up during the court process. Now, the organization was wrong what they were doing. I'm not gonna lie to you. They was out of pocket. They was wrong. But that's why it's important to understand policy and bill, because once they brought that policy up in the courtroom, everything was kind of thrown out because that particular individual violated the organization's policy, which then put them as seen as a negative individual or a negative person or someone who contributed to some type of negative atmosphere being developed because they went against the policy put in place of the organization. Now, if they have something like that in a particular health system for that nurse and she didn't do maybe a round or she provided some type of bodily injury, and it says if you do this, you're automatically terminated and reported to the board of nursing, blah, 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 blah. And if they didn't do that, then you can go to court. Now criminal charges are going to be provided to this nurse. And the organization, whoever oversees that specific, whoever sees quality or whoever oversees complaints or grievances, whoever oversees that, criminal charges will be applied to them too. Because you violated a policy put in place that's supposed to be the protection of the people that come into these doors. Same thing with bills. That's what I was trying to explain. That's to me, that provides more change than getting the finances, because they writing the check is writing the check. But guess what? That nurse still gonna be working there. Other people that's gonna have children gonna still come there. And if they're happen to be black or brown babies, they're at risk of being harmed. Doesn't really change. Only thing changed is one family got paid, but it's still other families being victims of this malpractice or this adverse behavior from a medical standpoint. But if you put a policy and bill in place, you can nip that in the bud real quick.
I think that sounds good, but we have to have somebody that has the knowledge of you, like a person like you in that scenario, to be able to think like that, know that. Because in the heat of the moment, I can tell you right now, I ain't worried about none of that. I'm seeing nothing but red. You know, hurt my baby. My baby came out with a broken arm and a broken arm and it went in NICU, or She was breaking babies' arms and killing babies, wasn't she? Or she was breaking the arms. I couldn't remember how that story went.
No, she was. I don't know if anybody had died. I think Shy had. I think this was a story that Shy brought up, but I think that it was some broken bones, and I think like she had punctured somebody, like took a scalpel and actually like cut inside one of the children, but they survived. But she did some sketchy stuff that she should have lost her license. Honestly, she should not be practicing in the medical field at all.
Yeah. I can't now. Because it's already a tough situation for you. It's a tough situation for the mothers, they got to go through that postpartum depression and everything. And then as a father, you want to be there for her and be there for the child. And to know that somebody is already harmed your child, there's nothing you could do about it. I'll be red, dog. I'll be red. I'll be redder than I am right now. I'll be a big old red, big Cali, Courage the Cali dog red, or however his name was. I'll be super red, just mad because you injured my child.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do nothing about it.
But you know what, Z? And I had I had the pleasure to moderate a mental health forum this past weekend. And we were talking about something like this. This came up again, but not this particular situation, but just about how policy and advocating for real change and bills should be put in place. And a particular mother in the crowd who was there, we were doing the panel discussion, and she said, "I'm glad I came today. I lost my son to suicide due to this, and all I got was a phone call from the facility saying, hey, there was an incident. Your son committed suicide. He's dead. By the way, come get his things." And I was like, wow, it took me off because it's like, man, that was so insensitive. And she kept going saying like, well, I agree with what he said. Talking about me. We do need more policy. We do need more this, more that, because I mean, they offered me a check, but I still have the pain. And I still feel like they failed my son. And listening to all these other people in this room, they failed everyone in this room. And I agree with him. We need more bills and more policy change. And when in my whole statement of saying that, and even with the panel, I said, I agree. I said, I agree with you. I said, because when we have policy, we get to hold them accountable. When we have bills put in place, we get to hold you accountable now. Because now this is some type of legislative piece or some type of organizational board approved policy that now I can hold your staff accountable to provide me with some type of level of care or continuity of care surrounding whatever it may be I'm dealing with. But that it you're right. You say like everybody don't know about that the heat of the moment because all these different things going on. Plus, we got this crazy administration now because they doing whatever the hell they want to do. And the real thing is, I keep saying it, preventive education is key. And when it comes to a lot of American citizens, we don't really know what resources we have available. We don't really know the infrastructure that's put in place surrounding a lot of different subjects like this, like when we talked about like with the nurse home and the babies. I'm pretty sure that family had no clue what their options were. I'm pretty sure they was like, oh, we're gonna sue them and try to get a check. They probably didn't know they could have reported her to the board of nursing. They didn't know they could have filed a complaint with the American Medical Association or anything, or whoever the hospital or that health system has their accreditation through. They can file a complaint with them and have that investigated. They probably didn't know none of that. They probably just, like you said, like, man, my child hurt. This is I want to fight. I want to hurt this person. They done hurt my child. My child's in NICU. They're already struggling. Blah 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 blah. So I get it, but that's why we need to have more community-based approaches. That when we have these nonprofits, we have reading literacy programs, we have cookouts, or we have block parties. We need to dedicate something surrounding preventive education so we as a whole can get better. Because I hate to say it, the way this new administration has it, it's you have the rich and you have the poor. And at this time now, if you don't know what resources that you have access to, I hate to say it, they're slowly getting cut off. Food banks funding the food banks, their funding is getting cut. You have FQHCs, federal qualified health centers, who don't know if their doors are gonna stay open. And that's for the low income, the underserved. Hell, when it comes to like these school lunches being provided, that's taking a budget cut. Everything that's surrounding a resource for the American citizens that are considered low income or even middle class, you're losing these resources now. And now is the time where you need to know about advocating, you need to know about policy, you need to know about bills, because they're making so many new bills. They're making so many new policies that really are not in the benefit of the people. It's in the benefit of these organizations. And I hate to say it, it's taking a nasty turn.
No, absolutely, because they're even cutting some of the local government things, like not even local governments, higher governments, like the CDC grants, all that stuff. A lot of public health buildings that help people with getting CDP, chronic disease prevention, and dental and HIV protection and TB. All these places are getting cut. Like, we used to get TB books for free. Don't even give out TB books. Anything to do with HIV and TB and all that stuff got cut with the Harris County government. Like, you got to find a different way to get that information sometimes now. So we've had to tap into other resources to get that money and sent out to people so they can have understanding of it. Because as you know, if you don't know, Houston did have a little skyrocket in the STD cases. And with them cutting the grants and all that stuff for STDs and the resources and the researchers to know what the level is in Houston, I can see it skyrocket even higher now because people aren't going to be involved with it. But they're just saying that knowing the policies that's going on in your area can help you in so many ways. And I feel like you are correct when you say, yes, you do need the policies. I understand that now.
Yeah.
And be able to sit there and listen to it and talk to it now, yeah, I can get that. In the heat of the moment, I would want that. And I think that falls on my lawyer, and who I pick as my lawyer to be able to say, hey, let's go get this policy too. Let's go make sure it don't happen to nobody else. Let's make sure you get your bread, and let's make sure nothing just happens to nobody else.
Yeah, that's real. And with so much changing, man, with so much changing, it's only going to get worse. To this individual who wrote this, I want you to understand this. Private equity firms, as of right now, own 13% of the health operations in the United States of America. And that number is going to grow. What that means is private equity firms are buying up nonprofit and for-profit health systems and monetizing on these operations and producing poor health outcomes. That means situations like the episode you listened to are going to happen more and more because the focus isn't on the people. The focus is on the monetary gain. And like Zach said, if you have a lawyer, they should be focusing in not only on what you can get on a monetary aspect, but what you can do from a policy and a bill, which means protest is going to be involved. You're going to have a group of people, which that's why it say it takes a village, and it truly does. Some type of protest to have a bill, legislative bill put in place to ensure things like this don't happen no more. Healthcare is about to get real cutthroat. I hate to say it. Zach just said what's being cut. You got to think Title 10 is also in threatening of being cut now too, which I never thought would be in conversation. Now that thinking about cutting Title 10. Title 10 has had some of these STIs. If you don't have insurance or have no money, you go get tested, go get treated. So if you don't have access to that, and everybody, I mean, ain't nobody gonna stop having sex. What's gonna happen? It's gonna be an increase of these STIs, man. These diseases. You don't have the CDC to do research now too, because they get funding getting cut. Now we're gonna have diseases that we don't even know what somebody got. We ain't even got the cure for it.
Somebody got people already be afraid to go get tested, or
yeah,
don't have the confidence to go get tested when it's something it's normal. Go get tested, please.
You have.
You have sexual activities. Get tested after every partner you have. Get tested every 6 months, even if you don't have a normal
They about
partner.
to have super gonorrhea out here. They already had that problem. They about to have super something else going on.
Man, you know about to have
Super whatever.
all different types of diseases mixing up and making a super disease. I mean, get that
Yeah.
out of me.
Yeah, you're right. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have all of them mixed together, making some. This is terrible. We laughing, but this is really happening because, yeah, man. But thank you for the fan mail. We have some more fan mail. You know, always email us at gemstonepodcast@gmail.com, gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. You can email us your stories or anything that you have going on, and we can read it from there. But I hope I answered your question, and I hope I explained it in the best possible way I could. Just because I really wanted to get that point across. It's okay to take them to the cleaners. That it is what you want to do, okay. But just know they got the money to blow. If you really want to hit them where it hurts and make real change for your people, hit them with them bills. Hit them with that policy change. All right, man. It's been fun talking to y'all.
I want to say something too. And also know this. The money you getting from them is crumbs to them. It's crumbs. It ain't the money. They got more money in the bank somewhere in this closet over here. The money you get out that situation is gonna be big to you, but crumbs to them. You want to hit them where they really gonna hurt, you gotta do some things like you talking about. And that's what we talking about the policies. Hitting them with the policies is really gonna hit them where it hurt the most. Where they're gonna really have to change some stuff around them and they're gonna lose more money. Now you still want to get your pocket money because hey, what's crumbs to them is great to us. We can take them crumbs and do better with our lives with that. Now, unfortunately, you had to lose or have somebody in your family get hurt to get those crumbs. But no, the crumbs you get from them, that little money that we feel like is a lot, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, that ain't shit on because they making billions.
No, you keep it the book though, man. Exactly what up, man. You keep it the book. My brother, the winner, y'all done got him worked up. Man, we appreciate y'all, man. We love you guys. Remember, man, you can get us on Apple Podcasts now, Anchor, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and also Pandora Podcasts as well. It's been a pleasure with you guys today. LP signing out. You can find me on LinkedIn, and you can find my boy Zach on Instagram.
Big money moves. Come find us.
All right, man. We appreciate y'all.